Well, good morning, friends, and welcome to my channel. I am Crystal, and this is Homemaking on the Homestead. And today we are going to do a little coffee with Crystal. I have a few little chatty things to talk about. I have a few thoughts going through my head with Hurricane Helene and the damage that's caused, and just, and how it relates to homemaking. And of course, prayer. I have a little bit of information that I thought was very interesting to talk about on eggs. Yes, eggs, you heard me right. And a few more things. So, ladies, grab your cup of coffee and let's chat. Well, here we are once again in the month now, a new month, the month of October. And of course, you know, I glued my little calendar. This book, little notebook, has actually worked perfect for me. In fact, I will be redoing the same thing that I did this year, next year. I find it really easy because when I do make lists, wherever I stop, I'll just draw a line and continue the next day's list. So that's pretty much what I put in here. I keep track of things on my calendar, and after that, it's usually just writing down my daily to-do list. So anyway, it's worked great, and I'm sure I have enough space there to get me through to the end of the month. So, and I've talked about this so many times that I won't. It's just my little organization method, and I'll probably wait until December, January, and show you what I'm doing next year. Okay, the coffee tastes really good. I just got back from a walk. It was such a nice morning out. It's one of those mornings where everything is just really crisp, feels very fresh, and it just felt good to get out there and, get some steps in and do some deep breathing and all that good stuff. So, one of my goals at the beginning of the year, of course, was to get outside more and be more active or whatnot. And I've been out a lot as we travel and do things, and daily I get out a bit, but I haven't really got back into that. Let's get out, let's walk, let's be, directed. And I used to do it all the time. And then I think when my kids moved in, that kind of turned my my daily life, ups and down. My daughter, her family, and and at the time when they moved in, my 5 grandkids. And when they moved out, there were 7 grandkids, so it kept my life pretty busy. And I just kind of got out of practice other than occasional going out for a walk or not. So anyway, it's never too late to start. Doesn't have to be the beginning of the year. Do it when you feel motivated. And I definitely have been feeling motivated. Like, I need to get out and get back into that routine again. So I did that. I've got about a little mile route that I walk. And it's all uphill coming home, so I definitely do a lot of the deep breathing, and it's been feeling good. So do you do any regular kind of exercise? I think it's so important as we get more birthdays behind us that we remember that the value and the importance of staying active and keeping our bodies moving. I'm 60, next March I'll be 61, so I want to keep myself moving. My husband and I have lots of travel plans, things we want to do, and it's important to me to make sure I stay active and just, get out there and breathe and move. That's important. So I'd be interested in if you do something on a regular basis, and what do you do? For me, it's always been walking, just because it's so simple. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to have any fancy equipment, a good pair of walking shoes, and that type of stuff. And that's pretty much all that's required. So, and motivation to get out there and do it. What kind of things have you ladies had going on in your kitchen? Have you been doing any baking, any cooking? We just now made it through my pumpkin muffins. In fact, I had to put some in the freezer because, 2 people, we just don't go through things that fast. But now I think they're all gone. One of my daughters sent me a recipe for some pumpkin scones, and that looked really good. Or scones. There's the English way of saying it and the American way of saying it. So my understanding is the English way of saying it is scones, and the American way is scones. Ever since I heard that the proper way to say it is scones, then that's how I keep saying it. Anyway, how do you say it? You can figure out scones as in the American, or scones is the English. So let me know how you say it. Anyway, the recipe for these pumpkin scones looked absolutely delicious, and I'm really excited to give those a try next. I also have a pumpkin coffee creamer that I just picked up my half and half for, so I want to make that. I don't usually put anything in my coffee. I drink my coffee black. Because I intermittent fast, by the time I usually start eating something in the afternoon, later afternoon, I don't usually want coffee at that point. But I thought, you know, one can make exceptions for everything, especially some homemade pumpkin creamer. And I can also make decaf coffee if I really want that. And I figured I'd enjoy a little bit and probably give the rest to my daughter. So those are my upcoming pumpkin plans, and or pumpkin baking, cooking, doing. Coffee creamer doesn't really get baked or cooked, does it? Anyway, and then other than that, I've been making, the last 2 nights, we've been eating on some chicken and shrimp stir fry that I made, and that was very good. I did a reel on Instagram with showing me doing it, and right now I'm working on shortening that to a short for YouTube. We'll see if I get that done and posted before this video goes out. Anyway, what I made was enough to last us for 2 nights, and I still have leftovers. I'm going to put the leftovers away into the freezer for another meal. That is sometimes the way I like to do it, so that I always have like an extra meal or something on hand, or two, for us in the future if I just had a busy day and looking for something quick. I've always got something homemade in the freezer ready to go. And that leads in really well to what's for dinner. What are you guys having for dinner tonight? Please let me know down in the comments so that we can encourage each other with new ideas, new inspiration, and just, like I said, good encouragement to get into that kitchen and create some good food. So I have a bag of cooked, about 1 pound of Jimmy Dean sausage. And I am going to use that along with other ingredients and turn that into kind of an Italian vegetable soup. I also have some tortellini noodles. They're the little round ones with cheese, so I'm going to throw that in there. And I have a half of a baguette in the freezer that I will pull out and make garlic toast with that. And I'll make a salad. So that's on my plans for tonight's dinner. I'm still in that soup mode. So, or should I say soup mood? Either one. I'm still there, and I'm still making soups, and we are really enjoying them. My husband is a newspaper reader. In today's digital electronic world, newspapers are becoming more and more of a thing of the past. But my husband, he is not really big into a lot. I mean, he just got a cell phone in the last couple of years, so he's just not really into those things as much, but he loves his newspapers. And, you know, you can probably always see behind me when I sit here, as he reads them, he stacks them up, and then he takes the stack down, and we use it for a fire starter. The other day, my husband came across an article in his newspaper, and he handed it to me because he thought I might be interested, and actually I was. There's so much that we learn, no matter how old we are, right? So I found this interesting. I'm obviously not going to read the whole thing. I've highlighted some things that I want to pull out. The name of the article was, "How Long Do Eggs Really Last in the Refrigerator?" And there's a lot that I have known about eggs for years, but I mean, I know they can last a good long time. Anyway, so I just pulled out some things that I highlighted. So, and I brought a carton of eggs over to show you, and I'm going to go into more detail on this because I find this really fascinating. I think the biggest thing is that we don't ever know when the eggs were packaged originally. So the date that you see on there is, if it says sell by or expiration, that means that it can't be more than 30 days past the packaging date. If it says use by, it means it can't be more than 45 days past the packaging date. Now, when your eggs go past those dates, if you figure it out and, or like this one has a date on it and you've gone past that, you're 30 days past that date or whatnot, does that mean you need to throw your eggs away? No, it does not. You do not, the eggs literally have not expired as far as as health or ability to eat them. The quality of the egg will start to deteriorate. So the whites are going to become more runny, the yolks are going to become more flat, but the egg is not bad. It is still perfectly usable. Okay, so this carton of eggs, it's the only actual carton I have in my refrigerator because I usually buy them in the 5 dozen at a time. Now, my son was going to be leaving for quite a long time, and so he had come over and given me food that he had in his refrigerator, so it didn't go bad. And a part of that was this dozen eggs. So this is a great example. Now, these eggs are jumbo white eggs. I didn't even know they sold jumbo white eggs. They're harder to bake with because they're a lot more volume in them. And so I've just been using them for scrambled eggs or, some sort of breakfast type things. And so I have 2 left and one is broken because it didn't survive the journey to my house, I guess. Anyway, so I thought this was really fascinating. How do you tell if an egg is fresh? This one I did not know. The next one I'm going to tell you I did know, but you actually shake it. A fresh egg, you won't hear anything. You won't hear any sloshing around. I do hear a little bit of sloshing around. Not a lot, but I do hear it. So that tells me that the egg is on the older side, which would make sense. Of course, another accurate way to do it is to put the egg into water. So I did that. I got a little plastic see-through container, filled it with water, and put my egg in there. So a fresh egg is going to just go down in the water and lay flat. An egg that's about a month old will stand up on end due to air that gets into the egg. Apparently is what she said, but anyway, or what this article says. So the egg stands up, and my egg did stand up. That again tells me my egg is about a month old. And if your egg floats to the top, that means the egg is literally no good. Throw it away. Okay, this is what I found to be fascinating. I never knew this. The way to tell how fresh your eggs are and when they were placed into the carton is to look at your carton near the expiration date. You will see a 3-digit number. So I looked on this carton, and sure enough, it's got the number 218. All eggs, when they are put into the carton, are given that 3-digit number. And January 1st means that it's 001, and December 31st means that it is 365. So this tells me what day of the year these eggs were put into the carton. I did not know that. I then got online just to figure out, okay, what day of the year are we at, and I found that, did the math, subtracted it, and guess what? These were put into the carton about a month ago. So that was fascinating. And their sell-by date is 9/3/24. Now, I will try to get a picture of this and insert it into this video so that you can better see what I'm talking about. Of course, this will probably cause all of y'all to pause the video and run get you a carton of eggs, right? What day were my eggs, put in there? Anyway, so that just gives you an idea of how fresh your eggs are and all that good stuff. And what do those expire by, sell by, etc. What do those dates mean? Wow, I tell you, I am completely just in shock of the damage and the destruction and the devastation that's been happening on the East Coast in Florida with Hurricane Helene. It is awful. Just this morning I watched a little news clip, and I'm literally seeing an entire house floating down the neighborhood. And and the deaths and the loss, it is just horrible. And so I have been praying a lot for, I know I have several of you ladies that live on the East Coast in different places and in different areas that were in the path. And so I have been praying for all of you and, of course, all the people there. And And I know it's going to be months and months of cleanup and recovery for so many people. It's terrible. That's my reminder first off, is let's be praying for all those people and as they struggle to try to recover from this. Another news article that I saw that got me thinking about today's topic is a picture of a grocery store. Food Lion was the name of the grocery store. We don't have those out here on the West Coast, but I've heard of them before. Anyway, that's not the point. There was a string of people from the doors of it way out into the parking lot, in line, waiting to just get into the grocery store. Due to they ran out of groceries, whatnot, and the hurricane hit, and they needed food. Understandable. And that made me really think of the value of your pantry and making sure that your pantry is stocked for things that could come up, might come up, whether they're natural disasters, sickness, whatnot. So many things, job losses, and whatever it is, there's so many things that could happen, and having a well-stocked pantry, I think, is so important. Obviously, if your house goes sailing down the sidewalk, there goes all your food storage, I understand that, but for those people that were not severely impacted like that, having a food storage could be so important. If you're that person that has a good pantry store of food, you might be the one in the neighborhood making pots of soup and helping out people during those times if they're not able to get to a store, or if the stores are selling out of items and things like that. I never ever like to recommend that we race and fill up our pantry because we're going to be running out of things. I think that's a fear tactic. And I've seen so much clickbait on stuff like that. And I think that's the wrong direction. I think we need to come from a position of stewardship. It's good stewardship. Yes, the Lord is going to provide for us. Yes, the scripture verse on, have you seen the lilies of the field, and they neither sow nor reap, yet your heavenly Father takes care of them. I am aware of those verses. But I also feel like we have a stewardship responsibility. If something happens and we lose our food storage, then of course the Lord is going to provide. He's going to take care of us. And I liken it to our situation in our home with heating. So we have a wood furnace in our basement. It is pretty much the only heat source for our home. We have a couple baseboard heaters upstairs in the bedrooms, and we have one little old wall heater in my bathroom. That is it. Those three little heaters would not heat our house. So we have to bring in wood every year, and my husband does that. He starts in the spring, and through the spring and the beginning of summer, he brings in his 6 to 8 cords of wood so that we are prepared for the winter. It would be wrong to not prepare and just say, well, the Lord will provide. We'll just wait, and maybe he'll bring it in on the wings of a dove, or somebody will just miraculously drive up our driveway with firewood for us so that we don't freeze this winter, or we will be able to just find firewood in the rain and the snow, or go buy it at, with the height of the season, or something like that. We have, I believe, a stewardship responsibility for certain things in our life, and food and heating is definitely one of them. How much a person stores and how much they build their pantry is really a personal choice. When I had 8 kids, I had a lot of pantry storage. I had bags and bags of beans and rice, and I bought huge bags of potatoes, and I bought big quantities, 2 dozen, 3 dozen cans of this or that, because I had a large family I was feeding. Now, with just me and hubby, I don't have a pantry that is huge. However, if there was something to happen, I'm sure we would be fine for at least 2 to 3 months. I mean, I might run out of fresh stuff right away, of course. I think it's just good to be aware of our pantries and the items that we regularly use to make sure if we see it on sale, buy extra so that we have some in the pantry. As you use it, I'm often, if I feel like I've got a good amount of, say, diced tomatoes, then basically as I use them, I replace what I've used. Now, if I see a really good sale, I might buy 2 or 3 more and add that to my stash. And it's the same with many, many other items. If I see a good deal, I know it's something that we're going to use, I try to buy maybe 2 or 3 extra, or depending on the budget or whatever, maybe it's 4 or 5 extra. Whatever I feel is a reasonable amount, I will purchase that and just have it in my pantry. And I also try to have basics like flour and yeast and salt and spices and that type of stuff. So I can always make bread, I can make biscuits, I can make soup. You know, I've always got something on hand to utilize. Now, and for my own personal experience, this has been very, very helpful. We've had times when we would get snowstorms and ice storms here, and we have had no access to even get out of our driveway, let alone freeways being closed down, and we could be stranded for a couple of weeks. So shopping every 2 or 3 days is not going to be a good deal, because I would have been in bad shape. I remember years ago my husband got stuck in the city. He was at work, and during the night, he worked graveyard, and during the night they closed the highways down because the ice was so bad, and his company put him up in a hotel for about 3 or 4 days until everything melted. So I'm at home with the 8 kids, and I am very grateful that I have a nice food supply. I've got lots of firewood. I kept everybody fed. I kept the house warm. You know, it wasn't a tragedy for us in any way. And it was only because we were prepared and that we had a supply of food, and he had already taken care of the firewood. And so you get my point. So being good stewards, I believe, is really important. And in light of everything I was seeing with Helene and the grocery store lines and things like that, just the importance of keep a well-stocked pantry. Figure out what your a week's supply, 2 weeks supply, a month's supply, 3 months. You know, what do you want? That's up to you. And keep your pantry up to date that way. Okay, ladies, I think I'm getting there. Just a little bit of a reminder to keep the peace in our homes as things seem to get more and more chaotic. The closer we get to, that 4-year cycle, it's getting more chaotic. And just don't bring it into your home any more than you absolutely must to have a discussion or listen to the news or whatnot. But don't let that take your peace away in your home and in the things that the Lord would want you to be focused on. Let's stay focused, ladies. Let's keep our distractions at a minimum. Take care of our homes. Cook some good food. Give your husband an extra hug and a kiss today. And, focus on godly, positive things in your life. All right, ladies, I hope that you all have an awesome and blessed day today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and a blessed week ahead. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.